This week, we're double dipping as we explore the wide variety of fantastic fishing opportunities out of Cheboygan, Michigan. Our first target is walleye on Burt Lake.
Beautiful fish.
Then we'll shift gears and targets as we head out on Lake Huron to troll for lake trout.
Look at these fish. You want to talk about good eating? You want to talk about a ton of fun? First hour of the day, fish number 7.
For Lakers and walleye, it's hard to beat Cheboygan, Michigan, and we'll take you there on this edition of Fisherman's Digest.
Or walleye. Oh my goodness. Oh. And that's an awesome Burt Lake walleye right there. Beautiful fish. Just free lining a reefer back, about 16 down. So what you see behind us is a shoreline of Burt Lake here, and what we found is a little point that sticks out. When we clip over top of the structure, we catch fish. Easy now, steady, Eddie. Good, beautiful. Another one. Awesome little Burt Lake walleye. I'll show you that. Thanks to John Jansen for the tip on the color. He told me to, if I had a little greenish crayfish, one to put it on. And as you can see, it produced in short order. Another little feisty Burt Lake walleye, about an 18-incher. Look at these fish we're catching. Beautiful fish. First trip of the year to Burt, and it's paying off. Good job, Eddie. Let's see this little underwater point. That little depression that goes out, you can see it rounding. If you don't, this gives us a great screenshot of what the Garmin offers you. We've got our autopilot so we can adjust up or down. We've got our fishing area with the mapping and contour lines. And of course you see 2 beautiful walleyes right there off the bottom, along with the bait fish. And as the day progresses, those walleyes will lift up and feed in the mid depths on those bait fish. Having a great sonar unit on your boat that you're able to split that screen into multiple different information pods so that you can see everything you need to see, that's what's important. If you're wondering if you see a set, now if you'll see that big hole between the last board and the third board, that was where the 4th board was. We're running multiple different segments of lead core on today's show, and one of the things that you've got to be careful of is that when you're bringing that rod in, you bring it in real slow and steady across the set. Don't just horse it so that it's skipping. But yeah, look at that one. Off.
I took them off the hook already for you, John.
Thank you, and I'm gonna show this off to the folks at home. This is what you can do. I'll stand by Eddie. Smile, Eddie.
Hey.
Nice walleye.
Thank you.
Grant just caught one. Look at that in the sunlight. Beautiful fish right there.
Yeah.
All right, we're starting to work on a good basket. Yep. Yeah, that's another nice one, boys. Look at the way he hit that. And this is what we're hoping for here at the end, is he hit the front of that. See that? He's hooked on the front hook. And what that's telling you is that he was aggressive. He really wanted that bait. He's feeding now. He's probably coming up to feed for the night. So yeah, he's gonna be a tough one even to get out. Beautiful Burt Lake walleye. Number 8 for the day. We'll show you what's starting to be a good looking basket of fish. Spend the day on the water with enough lines to really cover it. Don't give up. I mean, we fished for an hour and a half this morning with absolutely no fish. And we just paid attention to the other boats, where they were fishing, kind of went to school on them a little bit, put 2 and 2 together, getting a good limit of fish. Well, we're gonna check a whole side, and it looks like we got a nice keeper here. Oh yeah, green craw. That's that green crawfish. That's a good one. Good job, Granny. That's another nice keeper. It's a beauty.
Measure him?
No, he's 16, 17. Look at that, we're getting there. We're getting there. Good job, Eddie. Oh yeah, nice fish. Rod tip down, Ed. Nice, good job, Edward. Reel them up. That was the PWT net job there with Edward. Another nice Burt Lake walleye. Eddie, come here, you caught this fish.
Hey, that's a dandy.
That's a dandy.
You bet.
Beautiful fish.
Yes.
You do not want your rod tip a mile high because that pulls the fish to the surface much earlier or way out away from the boat. When they hit the surface, they instinctively thrash and open their mouths. A lot of people lose those fish. You're better off literally burying your tip in the water than to lift it up high, because when you bury your tip in the water, it gets them to the boat much more in depth, especially a fighting fish like this. This fish was pretty feisty, came off in the net, but happy to have him join the party. We'll throw him on the scale. He's probably 14 and a half. 14-incher, but good future here for Burt Lake. This one happens to be on lead core, so you know that's a traditional way that we're catching these fish. We're catching them both on a combination of flat lines and lead core, and the lead core just simply helps you get down in the column, get closer to the bottom. We're kind of fishing a crayfish bite right now, if you will. We're here in late July where there's a lot of crayfish hatching in the bottom of the lake, and those walleyes are simply opportunistic, and they're gonna go after whatever is the easiest forage, and young of the year crayfish are really easy to catch. It's a nice fish. Good job, Eddie. There's fish number 10. And this is one of my little secret baits I put on, hadn't had it on all day, but a little white shad wrap. When you fish low light conditions, that little white can show up really good in dusk conditions. I fish that bait a lot from 7 o'clock on, and I put it on and we'll get you in the sunlight of just another really beautiful Burt Mullet Lake walleye. Mullet Lake's got the same type of walleye. You're going to catch a lot of 2 to 4 pound fish, and as you'll see by this live well in our angler quest, there's finally a limit for 2. Oh yeah. Yeah. Another nice little fish. We got a whole live well full of fish in here now. It's looking good, ladies and gentlemen. Burt Lake. I love this place. It's not easy fishing, don't get me wrong, when you catch 9 fish, you know, and you're working, but hey, if you're on vacation, clean lake, awesome sandy bottom, beautiful place to come. Plus you've got the added advantage of the inland waterway that takes you right over to Mullet Lake. And Mullet Lake also has a really good resident population of walleye.
Another successful day filling the box with Burt Lake walleye comes to a close, but there's plenty more to come on this 2-part edition of Fisherman's Digest. Next up, we reset and try our luck with some big water lake trout trolling out on Lake Huron.
Here in Cheboygan, Michigan. We're out here on Reynolds Reef. Oh, you can see the harbor back in the distance. We've got, 4 rods in the water. We already got a fish on. We're gonna show you an awesome lake trout opportunity. Right here around the Boblo Island and the Port of Cheboygan area, there's just tons of reefs in this area, and it offers an amazing opportunity for guys who just wanna get out, catch fish. Stay tuned. Oh yeah, these fish are, man, if you're looking for table fare, this is table fare, and I'm gonna let Steve deal with it and show you guys this fish because I'm gonna reel this one in. What we're doing here, guys, so you can see it, and there's we've got a set of 75. Steve caught that on 75 copper. Now the one next to it, the 125 copper, is what I'm fighting. We've got another 125 copper and then a 200 copper. And what we're doing is covering different depth zones, and just, this is the first time literally this year that Steve's been out on this piece of structure. And so what we're doing is just kind of gonna circle it just to see where the fish are holding. Now they might move a little bit during the day, you know, up or down in the column, but I'll tell you what, it's, you know, probably 7:30 in the morning now and they're still high, Steve.
The water's cold enough, they're gonna be right on the surface feeding those bugs.
Yep.
Got
There's
one.
another fish, another 125 we got. This is just what you can expect when you come to Lake Huron. Oh, another one, triple. Big fish here. We got fish flying everywhere. This is the first time we've been to this structure this year. We don't have GPS coordinates we're going to. We just have a couple of cans out here that say, oh, we've got a reef and you're in Lake Huron, which means you have lake trout. You've got to come here. You've got to bring your boat. I know you want to run to Lake Erie all the time and catch walleye, but you can't hardly catch walleye as fast as you can catch these awesome lakers that Cheboygan, Michigan has to offer you. These are awesome fish, Richard. Yep, I told you when he hit. Richard is our designated Steve Hubert helper. It's Steve's dad, and he joins us on some of these trips and does an awesome job of just fishing the boat. This is a big fish we're driving. Oh my gosh, Richard, you're back on the wheel. I got you. Thank you. We're gonna take our time and just try to show you all of these fish one by one.
There's a lot of power in these fish.
And that's what I love. And you and I have had this conversation many times. These are goby-based fish. These are fish that are feeding on gobies. They are not the greasy, slimy fish from 30 years ago. These are really good tasting fish, aren't they?
Very mild. And they're spunky.
And feisty.
They're feisty. He's going over this side.
He doesn't want that side of the boat.
Oh, no, I'll come over to you at all.
Oh yeah, these fish are, man, if you're looking for table fare, this is table fare to the max. And I'm gonna let Steve deal with it and show you guys this fish because I'm gonna reel this one in. Talk about that, that's just a killer spoon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got the UV, so in the low light conditions, it really gives off a lot of flash. And a lot of different colors, purples and pinks and greens and blues, all on that one piece of tape.
Yeah,
this one is a planted fish. This one's got the coated wire tag. It's got a missing adipose fin, so this one's got the coated wire tag in his nose.
Woo! Oh my. Richard's trying. He's trying to lose that thing for me. Yeah. Okay, Richard, beautiful. No harm, no foul. Look at these fish. You want to talk about good eating? You want to talk about a ton of fun? First hour of the day, fish number 7 and number 3 of our quadruple. We thought Richard got a little close to the structure. He did. He got just close enough for us to hang every rod. Here's what you get when you come to Cheboygan. Doubles, and I think we're dragging one on a dipsy as well.
Their inside board.
Oh yeah, inside board right here, just ripping. Look at that board. Darn near sinking.
That's another quad.
Yep, that's another quad. We got one on the dipsy too, and we'll bring this fish and I'll back up and Richard will show you a really nice Cheboygan area laker right here. I'm ready for you, Rich. No problem. Wow, that's a nice fish. That is a nice fish, Richard. That is an adult, is right. He's got 2 spoons in his mouth.
Got them both inside of his mouth.
Yeah.
Both hooked up behind the jaw, so.
He definitely
it
hit
wasn't
him.
just angled, yeah. He hit both spoons for sure.
Fishing today, we really utilized 3 pieces of equipment like crazy on today's fishing episode. Our Garmin, and where we are right here is Reynolds Reef, and it's a really dramatic rise. As you can see, we're in 97 feet of water. If I went 50 yards that way, we'd be in 20 feet of water. So obviously you could not fish this structure without that zoom in ability and that really accurate mapping that the Garmin 93 SV gives you. So we're just skirting. You can see all of our plot trails are just bumping into that 66-foot wall, because if you go another 100 yards, you're gonna have all your lines in the bottom of the lake and it won't work. But if you stay in that right perfect area, you'll see what happened like we did today. Caught tons of fish. Now our Trax Tex rod holder rail mounted system, which is a staple for us anytime we troll. And of course, as you saw during today's show, tons of offshore tackles boards. We use the medium-sized boards today because we're pulling short amounts of segmented copper, but you could also use the bigger boards if you were going to like 250s, 300s, and 350s and 400s if you were out in 150 or 200 feet of water. So let's show you just a few of the things Steve and I fished with today. Steve, take us through the progression. These are, that looks like a Magnum on the end if you were looking for a big king, and then some super slims. What's your basic setup for fishing these fish here in the Cheboygan area?
I generally like the brightly colored spoons. There's a big increase in smelt production in Lake Huron right now, so these are the super slim series. Are producing probably 90% of our fish today. I think they mimic the profile of a slender smelt. The standard spoons have been taking some fish. Obviously the teeth marks from today. Lake trout got some pretty sharp teeth, and also even the mags. We run the magnums on the divers and the riggers. When they're closer to the boat, it gives a little more flash.
What's the speed? Talk to us about speed. And I know we've run everything on, these are our big Magnum boards. We've gone, because there's no wind and waves, we've gone to the smaller boards today. But what's a basic speed if a guy is looking to get started? What speed should he be what's a good benchmark speed that's always gonna work?
In this cold water, you generally want to go about 2.5 miles an hour.
Okay.
A little bit slower sometimes if they're a little more sluggish, and you can even bump it up. Right now we're running almost all day today 2.7.
Exactly.
So,
and you've told me that you found that when you get too many lake trout, like if you're at 2.3 to 2.5 and you get just bombarded with lake trout, which can be fun until you want to catch like an Atlantic or a king or a coho or something like that, then you're just bumping it up all the way to 3, right?
all the way to 3, sometimes even above, but generally if you go 2.5 miles an hour, you're going to get both the kings and the lake trout. Is kind of that happy medium.
We hope you've enjoyed our excursions out of Cheboygan on Burt Lake and Lake Huron this week. The Straits area truly is a fantastic spot to visit on your next fishing trip. In addition to the walleye and lake trout opportunities that we've highlighted, you'll also find great fishing on lakes and rivers for salmon, steelhead, bass, and perch. In addition to the great fishing, there's also plenty of other things to see, do, and experience in this region. There's great golfing, camping, kayaking, tubing, and rafting. Take a day trip to Mackinac City, cross the mighty Mac, and explore Mackinac Island. Find out more about Cheboygan and the Straits region of northern Michigan by clicking the destinations link at GreatLakesFisherman'sDigest.com.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. As always, an awesome day here out of the Port of Cheboygan with Captain Steve and his dad Richard, showing you all the great opportunities here for the lake trout right here in Lake Huron. We'll see you again next week.